All good?
All good.
Okay. Here we go. Welcome, everyone, to the Underground Sound. I am DJ Exec. With me, as always, is
Sorry, that's my fault.
Okay.
Sorry, I was about to go hi, because I always sort of go to say hi, and I always forget that you do the intro. You say, with me is always Carlos Fandango, and I always do this as well. I'm always about to go hi, or something like that, and then I forget that you're actually talking and just introing.
Okay.
But so ignore me completely.
Okay, here we go.
I'll put it on mute.
Carl's always good for a blooper reel. If you haven't seen that one, then go check it out. But welcome to the Underground Sound, episode 18. I am DJ Exec. With me, as always, is Carlos Fandango. Together, we are putting the us back into music.
So please do like, subscribe, and share, and let's get your music out there.
Absolutely. Let's get everyone's music out there. And special shout out, thank you to our show sponsor once again, Nathan Brashear of Monsters Are Real. If you missed our Black Friday special, or if you missed the debut of the White Christmas video, it will be in the video link here. It will be in the video links leading up to Christmas, which is kind of like our cutoff time for this fundraiser to raise money for the troops and everything like that. So please, by all means, visit the video description below, not just for that, but to check out the links for all of the musicians that we have going on today. Today we have a great show. As always, like, what else would you expect? It's going to be great music, and we need your help too, though, because we need your help to help us find the best music of the 2022s. So New Year's Eve, we're going to have a special show going with artists that we featured, direct submissions that I have received for the Ones and Twos Underground, which obviously is going to be on a hiatus for quite a bit now. I'm thinking of how to switch that around exactly, but it will be revamped for the new year for sure. As far as this year is concerned, we do want to find the best music of the 2022s. And if you go onto the channel and you find the nominations section, there will be best rock, EDM, etc., etc. And we'll keep that going just until about the week before New Year's. So that way we can tally up the votes there, who you liked, who you gave a thumbs up, and the comments that you've left, and just basically three criteria that we have, which we were talking about a second ago, and now I can't remember, because it would be best overall feel for the song, best album artwork, and just production value, something like that. We'll gauge it on a 1 to 10 scale. We'll take the best points, and then we will announce the winner on the New Year's Eve show. And yeah, so I think that's it. That's about all that we were talking about before we were getting started.
Yeah, sounds exciting to me. And if we can get lots of people involved in voting for songs that they like, that'll be great, because we can then get what we think is collectively the best song of the year award would be, and the artist of the year award would be fantastic to receive for those artists. Not that it's actually like a proper award, but it's a nod, a little salute. Or maybe they could have an award. Maybe we could,
We could definitely come up with something. I've seen Oscars at Walmart before, so I'm pretty sure there could be one that could say artist of the year. So
yeah. Well, special underground sound pen or something.
Yeah, maybe a business.
It doesn't say underground sound on it, but it's from us. Special, like us.
That would be funny. Just send a big pin out to somebody, like, here you go. Here's your award for being the best artist of the year. So yeah, please poke around the channel, find that section, and help us vote for the best of the 2022s. The list that we're going to have going I think are going to be pretty solid. So on with the show, as they say. I see that our first song here, Carl, is we've had this before. We've had this artist before, Cheminarro.
I think we have had Cheminarro before. I'm sure it's for a ballad before. This is Alexander Minaev, and stage name is Cheminarro. Says his music is his hobby. Took part in Ukrainian Voice show. Is a teacher of history and English from Ukraine. Glad to collaborate and create new music. So basically, yes, that's right. It was a song called "What If" before, but this time around, It's one called Over, which is his vision of country songs. He says, I hope you'll like it.
Well, if I remember the last song correctly, I'm pretty sure that I do. But if I remember correctly, then I'm pretty sure that we are going to like this one as well. 116 fires, 10 saves, 98 plays. This will be the 99th play. This is Cheminarro with Over.
Without fight, and everywhere was perfect like in bed. She touched him like at last. You find his smile is vast. They speak without words like no one else. Over and over and step me by step, I move forward again. Nothing's forever. So now we need to go. Oh, oh, yeah. She's the sunshine is bright. That holds, never say forever. Your promises in love, and every day and every night, live without fight, and help each other, not just survive. Over and over, and step me by step, I move forward again. Nothing's forever. Go over and over and step me by step, I move forward again. Nothing's forever and love them also. Now we need to go.
Cheminarro with Over. Carl, it was a pretty poppy song.
It was, wasn't it? Yeah, very radio friendly. I think it's definitely his version of country. I mean, it's not a country song, I would say, but it's kind of got overtones of country song about it. He's got his own style, and I've kind of come up with this new genre that I think he's made up, which is retro country folk rock jazz. So maybe with some other things thrown in as well, but it's kind of a mishmash of lots of things. A very, very earwormy whoa, whoa, chorus going on, so it's very catchy in that respect. The intro with the drums made me think of Paolo Nutini's Pencil Full of Lead type style of song. So it's got that definite retro sort of 40s, 50s thing going on there in the background with the drums. I like the way the guitar was matching the vocals, just supporting the vocals with the same vocal melody. So overall, I really like this one. I think this guy has definitely got his own style, vocally especially, and lots of promise there.
I mean, I like the guitar. One thing that really kind of like had me go under there was the bass, because it was really simple. It's just like boom, boom, boom. You know, it was going in the background, and I just got, well, the vocals were great, first of all. And I got to say, it was a great arrangement and just a top-notch production. I think it was really good. And, you know, lately we've been talking about, you know, songs that could fit in the movies. This would be one of them, especially like Benicio del Toro or my goodness,
Tarantino.
Yeah, there you go. Quentin Tarantino film, right? So this would definitely work in one of those films because it's there's a good story to it, but it's poppy and it definitely has that kind of like Western vibe to it. Where if you go back and you look back at the movie Django, for example, right? This could fit somewhere in there very nicely. I think it was absolutely fabulous. So A+, Cheminarro, over. Very sad that the song is over. I'm gonna have to listen to that again tonight while I'm editing still. It was good. It was good. I liked it. It's a
really upbeat way to start the show as well. And it was a very upbeat song. Very
absolutely.
Good foot tapper.
A foot tapper. Absolutely. I agree with you here. So we have our second song here. This is Marena.
Yeah, Marena Clunie. And she's from Ellenville, New York, USA. Newfound recording artist who's an inspirational gospel singer-songwriter, composer, and musician on the piano and keyboard. And this particular song was called Drop That Habit. And it says, Drop That Habit is on my Grateful album. So she's had an album out, which was just released on all major platforms on her birthday, October the 17th, 2022. I don't suppose she was born October the 17th, 2022, just her birthday. So she'd be a very be a fantastic artist that made albums that young. But basically, she's I thought this could be quite interesting. It's not my normal cup of tea again, because it's a sort of R&B type thing, but she's put it in the category of Christian and singer-songwriter.
Well, here we go. Checking it out right now. Marena Clunie repost. It was a repost. It was reposted 7 days ago, but it does have 172 fires, 13 saves, 111 plays thus far, making it the 112th. Here we go with Drop That Habit. All righty, dropping that habit, Marena Clunie, Carlos Fandango.
I actually really like her voice. It's got a sort of it's quite delicate and soft and husky, unaffected, heartfelt vocal performance actually, and she's got quite a range. I mean, she's singing quite low notes, and those high. I mean, a lot of the modern singers do all this sort of warbling stuff, and it's just overdone for the sake of because they can do it, whereas she did it with what felt like effortless ease, and it was done nicely. And so, you know, it's just not done for the sake of doing it. It was done because it sort of felt right in the song to me. And she had that sort of there's another song, I'm trying to think of what it is, but it's the closest comparison I can make is someone like Randy Crawford, who had that slight huskiness to her voice and that kind of range. I bet Marina could really belt out a song as well as do this kind of delicate sort of love song. Love the synthesizer in the background. Just doing all those little going in the background. So it gives that sort of 70s, 80s jazzy sort of feel. And quite an earworm with the actual Drop That Habit chorus as well, with the might be her doing the backing vocals as well as the lead vocals. But yeah, really catchy. I really like what she's doing there. And really caught my ear, that one.
Yeah, it was kind of like an unexpected turn for me, right? Because the intro had the piano going. I was expecting that to go on a little bit longer, but we had the record scratch, and then the beat dropped, and it was great. The thing is, I'm wondering if Morena's a little bit shy. So I don't know if it's Marena or Marina, but because the same advice that I gave you at one point is bring your vocals forward. A very lovely voice, very nice timbre to it, and everything. And I feel like the vocals were kind of like drowned out by the instruments at some point because they were kind of like in the background. They're mixed in the track very nicely, but they're also, it seemed to me like it was just a kind of like a one-shot vocal, like there weren't different layers of vocals, which is okay. It still works for me, but I think that personally, when you're recording your next song or your next album, whatever the case may be, bring your vocals forward a little bit. Speak with your producer, whoever you're working with there. Bring your vocals a little bit forward to, accentuate your voice in the vocals, and maybe try adding another layer of vocals with maybe a little bit of reverb or a delay effect to them. And I think that'll work really nicely with the song. But I mean, the song is good overall. The production quality on this one is top notch. You had nice compression on the drums, nice ebb and flow factor for me here, as Carl would say. And yeah, I just think that would be my only critique here for you, Marina. It would be to, you have a very lovely voice, very lovely. Bring it forward. Put it in the spotlight for your fans, which I'm sure that you have plenty of, because this is at 3 minutes 38 seconds, once again, very radio friendly song. I could definitely hear this being played on the radio on a R&B station, and good job. Thumbs up from
yeah, absolutely, thumbs up there. Definitely. Yep. Really good job. I really want to hear her voice more, and tackling a variety of songs and genres, and song speed, song types. I think she could handle quite a lot of different music, as well as the R&B, but that's clearly the soul R&B side of things, and maybe a little bit of disco, sort of those slower disco songs, the shuffle disco type songs. Yeah, she would destroy them. She'd be great.
Yeah, I would have to look. I would have to look back at the video description for our Black Friday show. But we had the one Christmas song where I was talking about it. It would fit into kind of like a Disney movie, for like a princess, something like Frozen or so. I definitely think that Marina here could definitely hit those notes. She definitely got range in her voice. Most definitely has range in her voice. Once again, just bring it forward. Beautiful voice, bring it forward. I think you could do lots of great stuff here. So moving on now. The Purple Bowl of Destiny.
Where is it? Where is the bowl? It's going to come from somewhere. I know it. And there it is. Popped out of nowhere. Right. Okay. I'm in Shiva.
Are you going to put it on top of your head again to prove you're not cheating?
Oh, yeah. Prove not cheating. Yeah. Okay. And I'll even close my eyes as well this time.
Okay.
Stir the pot.
Stop.
Right. Okay. What have we got there? Right. Oh, okay. I don't know when the last upload of this will be, but it's Big Band.
Big Band.
This is one we've not had before.
We have not. I do not.
We said we had 40.
We've heard some big band music, but we've never had the bowl actually pick Big Band.
That's true. And we counted up the other day, didn't we? There was I think 44 different tickets and things, whatever you call them, and basically there's 4 categories that aren't really genres as such. It's just you choose, I choose, that kind of thing. But there's also about 40 sort of types of music and things in there. That it's quite a few categories indeed. So we've got a lot of potential variety there. Loads of categories we haven't had yet either. So what's the latest upload? Is it about 10 months ago for Big Band, or is it more recent than that?
6 hours ago.
6 hours. There we go. That's brilliant. So there are Big Band people out there.
Yeah, I'm just listening to the description. I'm just not sure if this is Big Band.
If it's not, that doesn't look like it's actually good. See, the thing is, I think a lot of things are mislabeled on here. It's like there's there's a melodic category, but it actually turns out it's melodic dubstep and rap and hip hop and stuff like that, and it's not particularly melodic at all. But none of it is really. But there are some. But what I would call melodic music is music with melody in it. But there you go.
Well, let's check out. So we got Staley. So it's D'Amicos and Staley. The name of this song. Well, let's learn here a little bit. 360 tracks, trick one, real own, blah blah blah. A new special feature. I'm just trying to think. Demo. If this looks like, if this is a music royalty total number. I can't tell if this is a for sale kind of beat or not. Because if it's a for sale kind of thing, we're going to go to the next one over.
Yeah, see, that looks like it could be Big Band. That one down there. Well, oh no, that's the artist we're looking at, isn't it? So
let me just take a quick listen to this real quick here. No,
that's not Big Band.
No, sorry, we're not gonna do that. Apologies, Staley, but that is definitely hip hop.
Yeah.
So please post in the correct category. I know that you want to get your music out there, but if you post in the wrong category, you're basically taking time away from the other artists who actually post in that category as well.
It's not just that, but they're not going to get many listens on the Big Band, so they'd be better off putting it into a singer-songwriter, hip-hop, rap, any of those, where they've got lots and lots of maybe, I don't know, unless there are Big Band elements in it somewhere, maybe, possibly. People's definitions are different anyway, aren't they?
They are, yeah.
Diploma Jackson, that looks like it could be.
Looks like it.
That's not Big Band. People's definition of Big Band, that's hip hop again.
Is it?
Yeah. Well, I've just had a quick listen to my headphones, and that's really odd. There's loads of that one been uploaded several times. Same song. Well, and one further below is Mr. TJ Miller, who will be appearing on our Christmas special, and that is Big Band.
So we got Mr. TJ Miller.
Loads of hip hop and rap on this, Big Band for some reason. I think people must be mixed up on as to what the definition of Big Band is, or the definition has changed. It sounds now like it's all hip hop. Honestly, it's mostly hip hop here and rap. That's really strange. Shall we go for another category? Because that clearly. Well, there's one down there called Blank Instrument. The Banker. Oh, that's Big Band. I can hear it now, and it's 3 minutes and 8 seconds. So a bit further down.
Blank Instrument?
Yeah, Blank Instrument, The Banker. Okay. And it says it's got sass, it's got jazz, it has enough instruments on it to sink a small ship. Oh, that sounds good. Well, written after a trip to the casino, this song warns against the evils of gambling, all while assaulting your ears with some sexy sounding horns, smooth doo-wops, and some gypsy violin thrown in for good measure. Now that sounds more like big band to me.
Now, is this going to be bad karma, us going against the Papa Bowl?
Well, the bowl chose big band. We should really play proper big band.
I think you're absolutely right. Let's rationalize it that way. Here we go. Blank Instrument posted 1 month ago, 69 fires, 4 saves, 23 plays, going to be the 24th here on the Underground Sound. Let's check it out. The Banker, Blank Instrument.
The dice, place your best bet, honey, and gamble with your life. Man, it doesn't matter if you play to win. The banker has you beat before you begin. Shop, shop, do us. What do the shop, shop, do us? You stroll up tight with a fistful of dimes. Let it ride out on red and see black eyes. It so slowly tears itself into bits. But you should have known the banker always wins. It's not that they're trying to part a fool from his money, but when you know the odds, it's a sure, sure bet. It's not that they're trying to part a fool from his money, but they're coming in droves to spend every last penny. Shop, shop, do us. Do the shop, shop, do Can't beat the banker. Money can't buy happy, but can buy me a drink. And I'm gonna need one to help me forget. So come on, baby, drown your sorrows, because you should have known the banker always wins. It's not that they're trying to part a fool from his money, but when you know the odds, it's a sure, sure bet. It's not that they're trying to part a fool from his money, but they're coming in droves to spend every. It's not that they're trying to part a fool from his money, but when you know the odds, it's a sure, sure bet. It's not that they're trying to part a fool from his money, but they're coming in droves to spend every last penny. They're coming in droves to spend every last penny.
From Perth in Australia, that was a Blank Instrument with The Banker, Carlos Fandango.
From Australia. Okay, well, interestingly, most of my thinking time there was trying to place the kind of voice she had, and I know it's that older style of singing she's emulating, but I think the closest one I could find, and I thought she sounded more English than anything, interestingly, but she sounded in places like Sophie Ellis Bextor, with the enunciation of some of the words. But I really liked her voice. Nice, sensual, in keeping with the era of the music that they're trying to, the big band era. And I like the shop doo-wop stuff. I know it's all cliched sort of phrases from that sort of style of music, but that's fine. And I like the use of the old adage of a fool and his money are easily parted, all that kind of thing. So it's memorable lyrics. Real pleasant surprise that one. I think that was really good song and well put together. Instrumentation was nicely handled. I feel like it's probably programmed instruments rather than played instruments, I'm guessing. But if they were programmed, they're well programmed and well put together, and it's a nice blend of instruments, like they said.
I don't know. I didn't hear programmed instruments. I got to say, first thing that I thought of was do you remember the movie in the 80s Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Yes.
So
So like the redhead
Jessica Rabbit, right?
Jessica Rabbit, yeah.
So they had the whole big band thing going on there, which is kind of like a jazz lounge, and the actions going on there. Her voice, absolutely. I mean, she has a fantastic voice, and it just kind of reminded me of that scene, right, where you're kind of there in like the 50s and just I think it was great. So I didn't really catch on to the program vocals. Programmed instruments. It sounded on the monitors as if they were real instruments, especially the trumpet. The trumpet really sounded good to me.
Yeah, just have a quick listen now. I think you're right. Actually, it probably is, because it comes through clearer on my listening through it directly here. It's I can hear, particularly the drums. I can hear actually sounds like a real snare. I think you're probably right. It's actually proper instruments. It just I couldn't tell from this end hearing it.
Right, we get that kind of like delay, kind of like faded effect at times when we're listening to music here. This is why I always have the other background recording going on for the audio specifically. But I think it was a great song. I don't know of many big band kind of like themed radio stations out there. I know that there's a few jazz stations out, but as far as being, radio friendly, yes, it is. But is there, a radio station for it? Right? Is what I'm getting at here. But once again, as we've been talking about, and the reference that I've made to Who Framed Roger Rabbit, it's definitely movie friendly. Something can be going on with that, far beyond what's going on here. I do think it's a professional production. Sounds like a professional production. Everything just kind of like sounds like it's falling into place where it's supposed to be. And once again, her voice really does make the sound. So Marena, if you are still listening to to this song and watching the show at the moment, so we just reviewed your song. This is what I'm talking about, bringing your vocals forward, as the vocals can make the entire song. So nicely done. Blank instrument, the banker, very cool. I enjoyed it. I'm glad we did skip along and find the correct big band kind of category there.
Absolutely. And it worked out nicely. The bowl chose well. The bowl done good again, my son.
Yes. I'll say cheers to the bowl today. Cheers to the bowl.
Cheers to the bowl. Yes, happy Thanksgiving, bowl.
We're way past that, Carl.
Oh, of course, because when this show goes out,
this show will be out the December 2nd.
Oh.
We are starting off our Christmas season, absolutely. So please, once again, head onto our channel and find the nominees for the best of rock, best of EDM, whatever categories may be out there. Take a listen to those songs. Help us choose the best of the 22s, and by all means, head into the video description below. Find the links to all of these fantastic artists. And if you'd like to nominate one of them, just say, hey, I'd like to nominate this person. So, but be sure to visit them and obviously throw them some fire, some save them, whether you have your own playlist or not. Save them onto your playlist. If you'd like a playlist, then head onto our website, usundergroundsound.com. Find our Spotify playlists. I'm going to update the names shortly. By the time this airs, they should be updated. Carlos gave me some fantastic recommendations for playlist names, and add our playlists onto your phone, your device, whichever way you pick up on Spotify there, so that way we can get word out on these indie musicians. That was like a mouthful. Whoa.
Take a breath.
I feel like
while you're saying that.
So we have coming up here now, we have Andi's Chamber. What can you tell me about the song, Carl?
All right, this one is called I'm Afraid of You, brown in brackets, brown eyes. And this one's it's got the lyrics as well in the notes, I believe. It doesn't say much about Andi's Chamber. Believe it's a band. Joined August 2020. Had 20 tracks uploaded, 856 plays, and 70 followers. Looks like they operate in alternative rock, indie, singer-songwriter, pop, alternative pop, underground. So yeah, this one, I think, if I remember rightly, this was a sort of a darkish, quietish ballad, more acoustic sort of ballad. It's had 3 saves and 43 plays, so probably needs a bit of a boost. But I think it was, oh, there we are. And it's got a bit of violin and cello live on it. You may enjoy it.
Well, without further ado, let's check this out. Andy's Chamber, I'm Afraid of You, Brown Eyes, available on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, and something, maybe a video out on YouTube. There you go. I was looking at for crying out loud, like our main format here is YouTube, and I couldn't even recognize the damn logo.
This yes, it's on this something or other YouTube thing.
Why does it say season 2, episode 3?
Well, I'm wondering, maybe it's a sort of ongoing story or something that they're developing. Episode 1, season 3. Maybe that's episode 2. I think, this is my guess, that this could be their either albums or EPs or singles, and they've just put them out as, there we are, episode 4, season 2. So each track gets allocated, by the looks of it, a season and an episode.
Well, that's kind of that's interesting in itself, right there. So I'm definitely captivated here, and I want to listen to the song. So let's get it going. Andy's Chamber, I'm Afraid of You, Brown Eyes.
I'm afraid of you, brown eyes. They both could start wildfires. You take what you want, light up in the lust, and leave everything in the dust. She likes warmth, she needs that right away. I am September, but you are May. Let me at least give her one last smile. Let me look at her for a while. This is a fight I won't win, so let me kiss her nose before I go. I'll head to the doors, I'll find it really hard to not look back to where we had our start. I'll run as far as I can, I'll be gone for good. I'll concede if she chooses you. You see right through, you're not the one who stays silent. You can turn me into a stray cat from a lion, and it's not like I can alternate her view. I'll concede if she chooses you. I'm afraid of you, brown eyes.
Very interesting. Carlos Fandango.
Interesting is the word, isn't it? It's for me, it feels a little like one of those, say, BBC Radio 6 seasons of unplugged studio recordings. So yeah, like a live recording. Although oddly enough, and you might mention it about it feels like almost overlaid vocals, although I would say it's probably more that the vocals are very, it's a strange thing because the vocals are slightly muffled and yet they're actually really close to the mic, because every now and then, because she's singing quite quietly, she's close to the mic, so when she does go a bit louder, it feels like the vocals are peaking a little bit on the volume. Other than that, actually, I really like the vocal delivery, because when I first heard the song, I was thinking, okay, so it's one of those those kind of female singers with the folky type singer-songwriter style. But actually, because the lyrics are so strong and interesting, sort of akin to Leonard Cohen and Joni Mitchell's style of lyrics and writing, a very deep, personal sort of felt lyric, then I think it kind of works with that vocal delivery. But it just felt a bit muffled in places. But actually, the music in the background was nice. You've got the guitar, cello, and so forth. And I would put it under more of a folk category and singer-songwriter. So a combination of folk and singer-songwriter. And otherwise, an interesting song.
Very interesting song. I'm very intrigued. I wrote down that she definitely has Adele-style lyrics, or a voice, an Adele-style voice, I should say. The lyrics really make the song even that much more interesting. And I do get what you're talking about, because I heard the vocals peak once or twice throughout. Once for damn sure, because it was like really, I mean, it popped in the leftover here, especially. It kind of like sounded like maybe a live session with a handheld mic, and kind of like, you know, yeah. So that may have been an issue there. So I think that a little bit of post-production is necessary here. I think that with the guitar and the cello alone, the song would have worked fine. The violin was a bit loud for me. I don't know if you got the same thing, but it seemed like it really took precedence, throughout most of the song there. And I think that we could have either dropped it down or eliminated it altogether, I should say. I think I'm going to personally playlist the song.
Yeah, I think it's worth playlisting, because there's definitely an audience for it. And I think I take on board what you mean about the violin. It might be that it was possibly too loud, but also possibly too busy, so that the instruments there might be a way of doing it so that those instruments are working in conjunction together to support the vocals, support the guitar, rather than kind of compete with it all. So there's a little element of that where everything's feels like it's slightly competing. But that's just a refinement thing as to sort of working out what really is needed there. Whether what's the driving force of the song? Is it the guitar? Is it the cello? Is it the violin? Or is it the vocal? And making that the centerpiece on which everything else is built around. Myself personally, I would say that the driving force for the song would be the vocals and the cello, because it definitely has that folky theme to it, like think of like America, like kind of like Horse with No Name, but female vocals. Jay Quincy, Picture Me Your Dream House. This is kind of like, so picking up on that folky sense of the song. I think that's where we need to go, is pick one instrument to work alongside the vocals, and everything else will fall into place, really. So I think myself personally, I think that if the cello and the vocals were the highlighted portions, and everything was kind of like dropped down a little bit more, not that the guitar was overbearing. The guitar wasn't overbearing, and it sounded kind of like a nylon string guitar, which was in itself very folky, and it kind of like moved right along. It's just when the violin came on, like what you were talking about, loud and busy, and it just kind of like, that's the point that kind of like maybe kind of like gave me a kind of feeling like, okay, well, this maybe needs a little bit more post-production, right? But overall, great song. And I think as for playlisting, I mean, if you put that next to Jake Quincy's song, that would go well together. And because then you're into that sort of reflective, deep sort of songs where you sort of really just zone out and go to another dimension, and that would be ideal to go together with it.
It would be, yeah. It's definitely one of those songs where if you're sitting there and you're just thinking about something, and you need to kind of like find an answer, then this is like a nice kind of like meditative song, right? Because the lyrics will drag you into it, because they have meaning. Obviously, there's a story being told, as is with Jay Quincy's Picture Me Your Dream House. So it's very nice to kind of like hear that, and to get that, like you mentioned, that otherworldly kind of like sense to the song. So I liked it. I liked it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Another good song.
I think I'm becoming more and more of a fan of folky type music as the show progresses. So very nice. So again, very nicely done. Very nicely done. We'll definitely playlist that one. Definitely. Crashing Pumpkins. Crashing Pumpkins.
I know what you're thinking there.
It's Crashing Puppets sounds very suspiciously like Smashing Pumpkins. What's going on here with San Francisco Diver?
Well, this duo, I think they are from Porsgrunn in Norway. I didn't realize they were from Norway, actually. They sound very American, I think, when I heard the music. Crashing Puppets is an alternative rock band from Norway. The band was started by Simon Leyland and Fredrik Nielsen in 2020 and plays 90s-inspired rock music with elements of occult underwater pop. So that's intriguing. And this song, I believe, that's right, it's called San Francisco Diver. And I think it was quite a catchy one, if I remember rightly. Very, very US 90s pop as well. Rock, sorry, pop rock, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I think you'll like it because you're well into the 90s anyway, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Yes,
so I think you're gonna like this one.
So, yeah. Without further ado, Crashing Puppets is what it is. So, San Francisco Diver, also available on Instagram. Oh my God. Also available on Spotify. However, they want you to follow them on Instagram if you like the song for whatever reason. I don't know why, but let's check this out. Crashing Puppets, San Francisco Diver. The San Francisco Diver by Crashing Puppets, Carlos Fandango.
Right. So yeah, lots of noughties and 90s feel to that. I mean, particularly the intro. It's catchy from the outset, really, with the guitar riff and the rhythm guitar. Then the overlaid guitar over the top as well. Everything just sort of catches your ears from the start, in a very sort of way that. From the British side of things, I would say Blur would be the closest thing to that. I'm on the American side, I'm not really sure. There are bands that I've heard before that sound similar. But yeah, it's a good vibe to this song. It's fun, it's energetic, lots of ebb and flow. It builds, it drops, it builds, it drops, and particularly at the end as well, you got that nice little acoustic bit doing the riff, and then the drums come back in again. So ebb and flow factor 7.5, 8, probably 8, I would say. Vocals good, solid. Lyrics good and solid. There's a lovely chord as the San Francisco, the word San Fran comes in. There's a really, really nice chord in there. It's probably a 7th chord or something, but I don't know what chord it is, but it really is a lovely chord they've chosen to put in there. And it's just a nice, subtle, swashing chord that sort of introduces that whole phrase. I really like that one. I think they've got something good going on. I think there's a subsequent track that I might have highlighted for a future show as well, because they do sound pretty good. Very promising.
Well, let's definitely hear more. So Crashing Puppets, I got a Nirvana feel at the very beginning, and then it quickly turned into a Weezer type vibe for me. So it kind of like felt like it was going in kind of like a classical kind of like new age direction for me, as Weezer did. And I don't know if you remember last year there was a pretty big song called Colorado out by Milky Chance, and that song was pretty hot. And this one had that same kind of like vibe and that kind of flavor to it. So I think it was well done. The only thing that I would have a critique on is that the vocals are like super like drowned out by the instruments. The vocals are like way, way, way in the background. And yeah, I think that if we brought the vocals forward a little bit more, especially with the effects that they had on them, then it would work with the song, because there was at certain points when you had kind of like all the instruments kind of like coming in together, where you really couldn't really make out what was being said. But I don't know if that was just for like the grungy kind of effect to the song. But overall, I'm going to agree with you with like the ebb and flow of it being like, like between a 7 and an 8, because it definitely works. I could definitely hear this being played on an alternative radio station where they were playing like the groups that we mentioned, like let's say like Bush or Weezer or Nirvana, any kind of group in that kind of like ska grunge kind of like category. I think that the song would work there. So I gotta say, good overall.
Yeah, good way to end the side one of the show as such. And yeah, that was some nice bit of energy. So hopefully part 2, side 2 of the show will live up to part 1, because I think part 1's had some strong songs.
It absolutely has. So we're gonna take our break once again for you, but it'll be seamless. I'm gonna do the pin from this set this time. Let's see if we can go. There we go. And we are back with the underground sound. The second half. I am DJ Tech. With me, as always, is Carlos Fandango. We are putting the us back into music.
So please do like, subscribe, and share, and let's get your music out there.
Indeed, and we had a great first half so far. Luckily, Simon Cowell has not made an appearance, so we're going to keep on going with this. And I just want to, I was thinking about this, and I just want to say thank you to all the indie musicians that are out there that are pushing out this music that make this show possible. So if you're listening to this music, please, by all means, hit the video description below, find the links to these musicians, save them onto your own personal playlist. If you need an idea for a playlist, please hop onto usundergroundsound.com, find our Spotify playlist, and add this music onto your personal device. So that way you can listen to these fantastic artists all the time. And looks like we are onto track 6 now. This is Eric Conn, and the song is called Love Again. What can you tell me, Carl?
Right, and it says when you're in love with the wrong person. So it's a theme we've had before, but it's a different song to what we've had before. So Eric Conn is solo artist from Washington, D.C. in the USA. Veteran singer, songwriter, guitarist, telling stories through music, rock, pop, alt blend with influences too numerous to mention. So yeah, I know where I hear the influences on this one, but I thought this one would be of interest to many of our listeners and viewers.
Without further delay, let's hear it. Love Again by Eric Conn. It is also available on Spotify, so check the description and find links for this.
The news hit me real hard, just trying to survive the days. I'm in a lonely haze, and then I open up my phone and there's a text from you. It kinda made me blue, not caring like you always do.
Was it just me, or did his voice kind of like sound like Weird Al Yankovic?
Oh, I hadn't really spotted that one, really. I was thinking more because for me, it's a very crowded house sort of feel. So the
Carl, you turned your mic off.
right, I think I must have caught the keyboard.
Again?
I think it was just the corner of the page did that time, because I actually had it above the keyboard, but I was sort of flapping my paper around, and I think I just caught whatever that single key is on that wonderful Mac keyboard. It's the key, whatever the key is that mutes it, and I don't know what it is, but I've just done it somewhere. It's magic. It's pure magic.
It's Mac magic is what it is. So the last thing I heard you say was a crowded house.
It's probably a good job it was on mute, actually, because I might have sworn about it. It was basically crowded house, very much like the Finn brothers, but I take on board the Weird Al Yankovic. I mean, he can do a lot of different voices and styles. So, but yeah, I guess it's potentially that style as well. I like. It's got a good melody, good vibe, very radio friendly, and in this country, in the UK, that's Radio 2 all day long. And and also some commercial local channels and things. So the I like, yeah, that line, I think I'm losing my best friend, very crowded house in that respect, and actually quite memorable. And I like when the beat drops as well really early on. It just well produced song. Although at the around the 2-minute mark, there's a lot of the time in songs they have sort of like, yeah, where everything drops out, but it noticeably, yeah, for a split second, it's a bit odd actually on this one. Whether it's deliberate or not, I'm not sure, but it's just a vocal. Everything drops out for a split second. I don't know if it's some sort of deliberate thing, mistake or what, but it does it in a not so subtle way, if you know what I mean. So I think probably having, if it's going to do that, have every instrument or many of the instruments having some reverb on, so at least some of the sound carries through for that split second, because you'll still get the effect of the drop without it being so noticeable. But that was the only thing would be a critique. Otherwise, a really nice, solid, steady song.
Yeah, I didn't really take many notes because I think overall, I should say, it's very nicely produced. All the instruments kind of like sounded on point. I must have missed what you're talking about. I wonder if that had to do with the translation from the from me streaming it over here out to you. I didn't really hear a drop in the middle.
I noticed it's about, if you listen to about the 2-minute mark or so, it's basically it happened when I listened to the song originally, because I thought, oh, what's happened there, but then it carried on as normal. So it's actually in the track itself, which leads me to think it's probably deliberate. Yeah, that everything drops out just for a split second. It does catch your ear, so maybe that's deliberate.
Okay, I'll have to go back and listen to it, but I mean, really gave me like a nice 90s feel to it again. Sounded like a nice 90s song. Yeah, once again, I didn't take too many notes. The first thing that they captivated me is exactly what I mentioned, is that his voice sounded like Weird Al Yankovic. Not that the song was going to go in that direction at all, but he definitely had that kind of like deep treble, I guess you could say, if you want to kind of like classify it as that. That gave me that thing. I thought that we were just about to listen to a parody song here, maybe, possibly, but it was not. Very nicely produced, very, very radio friendly. What I have to ask you, why do you say naughties?
Well, for the 2000s, saying 2000 sounds a bit lame, but I think a lot of people, certainly over here, called it the noughties, because it's 00 noughties, because you had the 80s, 90s noughties. I don't know what you'd call the 2010s, because it's the tens, the teens, teenies. I don't know, but I always call it the noughties.
I think we just refer to them as the 2000s. So
I find that really just sounds a bit 2000s. So, but when you've had the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, got to be noughties, isn't it?
Naughties. And then the 2010s.
2010s, yeah. Teenies. Don't know what you'd call it really, but 20s is it. From now on, it's easy because it's 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. But those two first decades are a bit difficult to. Yeah, you just nobody ever sort of says it in a sort of way that nothing else has a ring to it. But noughties has a ring.
Yeah, I was curious about that. I've heard you say it obviously many of times. And I thought you meant naughty, like naughty, naughty.
Well, this is in my song "Never Ending Party." I call it a naughty, naughty party. So it's kind of a play on the word the noughties, and because it goes through the decades, and so I sort of utilize that phrase in that way.
So back in 2006, right? So yeah, no. Good song all around. Once again, please visit the video description below. Find the links if you like that song. Click on the link; it'll take you obviously to the artist page, and then you can kind of go from there with the Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, whatever the case may be. Check them out. Add them to your playlist. Once again, I like the song. Didn't really take too many notes because I was into the '90s vibe and the nice production of it. I will go back and I will listen to that 2-minute mark and see and kind of like feel out that drop. Was it on purpose? Dun, dun, dun. Was it not? Dun, dun, dun. Same bad show, same bad channel. Next time. So moving on, we have Quiet Local.
Quiet Local, yeah. From I was just about to say, well, we haven't been to the Lebanon before, but it's from Lebanon, Tennessee, USA. I didn't know there was a Lebanon in Tennessee, USA, but yeah, they are. And this one's called Marigolds. It's a play on words, but it is about creating strong boundaries. But we don't know much about Quiet Local other than joined in May 2016, has uploaded 3 tracks so far. 18 followers and 130 plays, but this one has had 8 saves, 93 plays, and 222 fires. So I think people quite like this one.
Okay, so we got Quiet Local on Instagram, 1,056 followers, 592 posts. Looks like he may be actually more of a live act than anything else at this point. But yeah, there's a Lebanon, obviously, not to be confused with the one in Beirut here, but Quiet Local with Marigolds. Let's check it out.
I am planting marigolds to keep you away, dear. Planting marigolds to keep you away. Now this ring around the house is my defensive perimeter. It's beautiful because it keeps you away. I'm planting marigolds to keep you away, dear. Planting marigolds to keep you away. Now this ring around the house is my defensive perimeter. It's beautiful because it keeps you away. Whatever grows is mine. Reaping what I've sown, multiplied by the unknown. It's my neck on the line, and these boundaries you now face will remain in their place. Till I decide it's time to let you in or move you along. I am planting marigolds to keep you away, dear. Planting marigolds to keep you away. Now this ring around the house is my defensive perimeter. It's beautiful because it keeps you away. I'm planting marigolds and marigolds and marigolds and marigolds. Many more marigolds than you will ever see. The keys you have will never work. I'll change the locks. I've tilled the earth. I've planted marigolds all around me. Whatever grows is mine. Reaping what I've sown, multiplied by the unknown. It's my neck on the line, and these boundaries you now face will remain in their place. Till I decide it's time to let you in or move you along. Certain deeds of
Quiet local with Marigolds, Carlos Fandango.
Quite local with a nice quiet end, actually. I think there's a lot of detail in it. It's a bit different. Slightly retro feel. It's got sort of, I mean, people have commented on the slaps that it's got a bit of a 90s feel here and there. But I can also hear things like the Kinks of the mid 70s, their sort of Sleepwalker and Misfits albums. At the end, I can hear sort of T-Rex influence. And so there's a blend of mixture of influences that can be heard. Couple of points I think I'd made on the comments that I'd made on the song originally were that as somebody else had commented, I think it wouldn't do harm to bring up the middle frequencies and bump those up a bit in the actual mix. So that would be good, I think, just to give it a bit more fullness, because it's got the bass, it's got the high end, just lacking the mids, I think, and bring the voice forward in the mix slightly, particularly on the quieter sections, because actually it's got quite an unusual voice, and with the octaving harmonies and things, it's quite an interesting sound he's creating. And also I would use automation to dip the guitar squeaks down a bit, because again, it's one of my sort of bugbears is guitar squeaks. There are a few in there, but I would just be mindful of that, because it's laborious. It's a really laborious process. There's a couple of ways of doing it, but really just automation is the best way. And you just got to go one by one on each of your guitars that you've layered and find the squeaks, dip them down in the volume in a subtle way. And that's all you can do to sort of kind of, don't have to get rid of them completely, because you want it to be slightly natural, but you don't want too many squeaks either.
Well, yeah, you just want to give it that feel, like the smooth line feel to it. Yeah, so I totally understand what you mean. The one song that I kept on thinking about when listening to this was Smashing Pumpkins' Cherub Rock, if you remember that one. It definitely had that feel to it. So definitely a 90s feel to it. I like the deep timbre in his voice, but I can't help but to feel that this song would have been like done really nice, like performed live. Which, like I said, looking at his Instagram, it kind of like looks like he's a more live musician than anything else, because the production quality doesn't really sound like let's say like studio quality. It definitely sounds like it's like kind of like a bedroom production, which there's nothing wrong with that. We're not going Simon Cowell yet or anything like that. there's nothing wrong with that. It's just the fact that I think personally that the vocal was overlaid. The kind of effect that it gave me, it did have some effects on it. It sounded like a little bit of a reverb and everything like that. So there were effects there, but I think that it was definitely put on top of the track and not mixed in. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. I could be wrong. Who the hell knows? But I mean, overall, I mean, it's a good song. Lyrics aplenty, instruments aplenty. 4:22. Think maybe a little bit long for this song. I could definitely probably see this maybe at about the 3.5 mark. Maybe that would alleviate some of the so some of the problems as well. But it is what it is. I think that the idea that it reminded me of a mega hit from the Smashing Pumpkins in the 90s should be pretty good praise there. So good job. Keep it up. What you're doing. You only get better with time.
Absolutely. Agreed.
Yeah, except for your mind. Your mind starts to deteriorate after a while. I don't know. I have trouble.
You forget things. Yes.
Yes, you do. Very quickly, for that matter. So, moving on now, the Purple Ball of Destiny.
Oh, yes, of course. I've got to coax it in this time. Come on. There we go. So there we are. Same again on the head.
Yeah, why not?
Back a bit so you can see. It's definitely genuinely me not looking. In fact, I'll turn the other way.
All right.
I'll turn the other way completely. There we go. We're definitely not looking now.
Now we had a 360-degree view of the bowl.
And the bald head, yes.
And the bald head. The bowl actually fits nicely on it, by the way.
Actually, that's a really good fit, and that covers it nicely. I might wear it from now on. Turn the other way.
Okay. And now.
Right, okay. Let's see what we've got here. Right. Oh, okay. One of my brothers are my favorite categories:
Synth.
synth/synth pop. I think there are two separate categories: synth and synth pop. So you choose which is your preference. So.
Oh, I hit the wrong thing. Sorry, my bad.
So usually in this category, there's a few uploads, and they're usually within the last few days, sometimes in the last few hours. It's not an overused category, unfortunately, but you've got quite a few sort of synthy sort of things like retro synth wave and stuff, and synth wave. So it's kind of a divided. I wish it was all under one thing, really, the synth, because it's ultimately based on synthesizers.
So this is kind of weird because I went into the groups, I typed in synth pop, and we have one that's 372 members, one that's 77 members, one that's 22 members, and then it was psychedelic that popped up with 1.7 thousand. But like, maybe let's try this one out. This might be interesting. 372 members.
The synth pop one, yeah, and that one's had normally that has uploads within the last few days, not always recent, but there is one on there, JeanTronics, probably I think it's probably not Jean but John, French, I'm guessing. That's the new one, at least, and it's called Love, LUV. I don't know if you're seeing the same one.
Yeah, I got the same one for the new one. This is reposted a month ago. JeanTronics LUV Love, and that they stole the Fandango's Fave's heart. Damn it!
Oh, is that one? I didn't even notice that.
No,
oh, I see.
it's not the same one, obviously. Yeah, but here we go. So JeanTronics. Let's see, from Helsinki, Finland. Do-it-yourself indie artist, producer, doing my stuff for the love of music. Check out my e-presence via following link, and there's a Linktree link there. So 73 followers, 1,957 plays on 26 tracks, which are not bad stats right there.
And this looks interesting because the influences include Kraftwerk, tick, Peter Gabriel, tick, Kate Bush, Genesis, Depeche Mode, ABBA, David Bowie, The Prodigy, Daft Punk, loads. So Human League, I'm sure Depeche Mode will be in there. So yeah, they are. Yep. So lots of good influences. Let's hope for the best.
Exactly. Let's be very hopeful with this one, because we've seen those influences before, and then the track was absolutely nothing like any of them. But here we go. JeanTronics, 120 plays on this song, 8 saves, 78 fires, reposted 1 month ago. This one is labeled more dance than synth pop. But without further ado, here we go. JeanTronics with Love, Carlos Fandango. What'd you think?
I think its description is probably correct. It is dance pop, and I don't know if it's sort of clubby sort of dance music, although it's good 1-2 dance too, and it's got good rhythms and so forth. Lots going on. Is there enough in it to keep it interesting? I like the sort of retro sounds as well. The touches of the disco sort of clap sounds were good. Sort of reminiscent a bit of Car Wash, that kind of sound of clap. And yeah, I mean, I thought it was quite interesting actually. You know, not too disappointed. I think the bowl chose quite well again. Be intrigued to sort of find out what else they do. I don't know if it was. I mean, you know, I suppose when I think about synth pop, I think you could hear a vocal potentially over that could go in quite easily, and maybe a vocal would be good on it. But yeah, for me, synth pop, things like Human League, Depeche Mode, OMD, and all those kind of things. That's the heart and essence of synth pop type thing for me, where you've got the vocal, but you've got a sort of whole interesting melody and stuff going on. All the sort of Vince Clarke stuff where there's always melody in it. But there was a fair amount of melody in that, and yeah, it was interesting. I don't know if I'd give it several listens, but it's not bad background music, I would say.
I liked it. I got to tell you the truth. I think I'm gonna playlist this one in our electronic playlist for a couple of reasons. It did have an 80s feel to it. One thing that I especially liked, except it was about the minute and 28-second mark where they had that gate effect, but they didn't use it throughout this entire song, right? Because usually when you're listening to this kind of like new age-ish kind of like this like dance EDM, they have that gate effect like throughout the entire song, and it just absolutely drives me bonkers. I don't know why people use that, and unless they're just trying to make you throw up completely, because this shit just makes me dizzy, especially listening to it with the headphones on. But I agree with you 100%. Slap some female vocals on that, you got a hit on your hands right there. Not even female vocals, I just slap some vocals on it. I think that with the pitch and the tempo, I think they could be female vocals, but I could be wrong also, because if you listen to Silas Dean has a very similar kind of like a beat and pop to it, and he's a male singer, and his vocals work just fine and awesome, fantastic. So great song. So in Helsinki, I don't know, find someone, work on a collaboration maybe to see, hop on Slaps. There's plenty of people on Slaps that are looking to collaborate with vocals. Throw some vocals behind it. I think you might have like a really nice club song going on there for the for the 2023s coming up soon here. So yeah, good job, JeanTronics with Love. Looking forward to hearing more. I did save that track and I followed, so I'm going to get back to them a little bit later on tonight and check out some more of their stuff, see if it's just as good as the original. And folks, if you don't know yet where you can find these artists, the Purple Bowl of Destiny has 2 for 2 today, so hey, got to be happy with that one right there. Hop into the video description below, find the links to these artists. They do have Spotify's, and they do have Instagrams, and they do have Facebooks. You can find all their links on Slaps. And if you don't know about Slaps, we have absolutely nothing to do with them whatsoever. We just think that it's a really fantastic community for musicians to not only post their music and get their music out there, but it is a good way to collaborate with people. And I'm going to say a good 98% of the people that you're going to talk with there on Slaps are going to be super friendly. So if you're ever looking for any kind of, like, let's say, editing work or backing vocals or anything like that, just reach out to people. You'll find that that the musicians there are relatively friendly. And so now we're hitting about that time again where we're track 9, where the show,
where you start getting a bit teary-eyed and upset that the show's coming to a close soon.
It is. It's sad. It's sad. It's sad that the show comes to a close. Why can't we just do this 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, man?
I would enjoy that, actually. If yes, but well, one day perhaps we could do a sort of marathon live. Well, mind you, the technical difficulties were insurmountable last time when we went live, but it would be good to do a 24-hour charity show, wouldn't it? A live transmission.
Yes, it would.
Be
Yes,
interesting.
it would. It would be very interesting, to say the least.
I may have just laid down the gauntlet for something that we can't do. Well, we'll see.
Well, we can do it. The only thing is that we would have to give, like, if when we announce a song, like let's say the Purple Bowl, we would have to give people, about a minute or two to look up the link on their own computer and play it there, because that's our biggest issue with the live stream, is the actual audio quality that's coming through. No idea what's causing it. I've looked for solutions, just no idea what's going on with that. So, but it is something to think about. I wouldn't mind doing that. I really wouldn't mind doing that.
Would be good fun. Well,
It would be
keep that one in the locker for the future then, in that case.
lots of chicken wings, and maybe we can get some fans that would just like to watch us sleep, just like some people do.
Well, people do, don't they? All these there are
They
channels.
They do.
MSR and all strange TikTok channels watching people sleep. Yeah, very odd, but maybe
Very up.
maybe we could do that. 24 hours sleeping.
We're gonna hook a webcam up to Fandango's bedroom.
Yes, for my exciting sleep patterns.
Absolutely.
Little touch of sleep apnea every now and then. Me
yeah.
gasping for breath in the middle of the night, and just that bit of excitement. Keep it edgy.
I've been there, done that. Yeah.
Yep.
It would be almost like an action movie. It's a very on the edge of your seat kind of thing going on there. Should I call the fire department or not? Let's save him.
Yes,
Right.
or not, or see what happens.
Yeah.
Bit more drama.
Oh boy. That's just alrighty. We're going into a really dark place here. So from one dark place to another, we have the dead sex puppets.
Indeed, yes. And location is where we be at the time. So we don't know where they're based, but I think they're English or UK based. They're labeled themselves as the worst band in the world. So it says Dead Sex Puppets are an atypical, apolitical, asexual collection of atheist personalities with no clue what the term woke means. Their raw, sloppy, rude, dirty rock is highly likely to offend the soft cock politically correct as well as actual musicians, but they don't really give a toss. So with that description, we're going to give you the I think the song we chose was So It Goes.
So it goes, yes. And it says here that yep, we get much worser. Hate us, we'll hate you back. So with that said, I mean, I don't see why we should delay this any further. The Dead Sex Puppets with So It Goes.
He picked his nose and he ate it, standing right there in the middle of the bus. The people can't quite accept it, but no one wants to make no fuss, and so it goes. It goes and goes. Popped out a gland and fed her baby, sitting right there in a classy restaurant. Some blokes was acting kind of shady, so the waiter helped her behind a marijuana plant, and so it goes. It goes and goes. So it goes. A bloke can walk the streets without a t-shirt on, but when a girl does, they say it's goes. Already do not understand its place, and everybody meant to be the same. I done the walk of shame this morning, naked and freezing with a smile on me face. The copper couldn't quite accept it, was gonna have to go and post with bail, and so it goes. Oh, it almost froze, and so it goes. It goes and goes. Here it goes now. All those strange little things. What people think are bad, what people think are good. It's all these double standards, you see. You can do one thing, but you can't do the other. You can do the other thing, but not in front of your mother. Depending on her proclivities, of course. Off you go.
Okay. Carlos Fandango.
Yes. Okay. So immediately leaping out there is the sound of Ian Dury that they're, I think, emulating, and clearly a great homage to Ian Dury in the style of what they're doing there, in this style of Reasons to Be Cheerful, or Razzle in My Pocket, Poo Poo in the Prawn, or There Ain't Half Been Some Clever Bastards. All those, the spirit of Ian Dury is there. It's fun. It's funny. It's odd, it's off the wall, very British, very London and Essex-centric vocals, like the spoken word section at the end, and you can do one thing but not the other, and you can do the other but not in front of your mother, all that sort of fun stuff. And I think, it's either going to be to someone's taste or not to one's taste at all. And with this sort of thing, I like the irreverence of the whole thing, just like Ian Dury. I saw him live; he was fantastic, and shan't forget it. And of course, his band, the Blockheads, were such a tight, funky band as well. So good at playing the music, and I would be keen to see them live. I saw that they're on Slaps. They'd mentioned about a summer tour or something, so. For 2023, but it's so I think they'd be quite fun probably to watch.
I think so as well. I don't have like a huge, like, profound knowledge of Ian Dury, so I'll have to check that out. Is it common spelling? Durey?
Dury.
Dury.
And it's Ian Dury. Sometimes he did solo tracks. Most of his stuff, though, was under Ian Dury and the Blockheads, and there's also Kilburn and the High Roads. But Ian Dury and the Blockheads. The Blockheads were such a good band, and the album, the New Boots. Actually, there's a few good albums actually of his, but New Boots and Panties is my favourite because it's just a really great album.
Because when you're saying the Blockheads, that's definitely ringing a bell up in the old noggin there, right? But it's just Ian Dury. That one's kind of like shutting down for whatever reason. But myself personally, I just think that this had a huge Frank Zappa influence to it on my end, right? Because Frank Zappa, I know pretty well here in the United States, so definitely very British. But the thing is I think that it's a lot funnier than what people are picking up on, right? Because kind of like a lost in translation thing, because I thoroughly enjoyed that song.
Right.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I get that I'm picking up on what's going on, because if Ian Dury has anything going on, like, let's say, like Frank Zappa and the Zappa-esque kind of like style to it, then I totally get what's going on with the song. And I did thoroughly enjoy that song, where it's just kind of like this mishmash, kind of like clutter of everything going on here, with like kind of like a specific point of reference in your mind, right? So I enjoyed it. I liked it.
So you think is Zappa in terms of something like Joe's Garage, kind of thing?
What was? I would have to go back and I would have to look at the discography, because
there's so many for Zappa albums.
Just what I'm saying, but the one that finally hooked me in had something to do with clowns, and this was back in, I'm gonna say, like 94.
Okay. The New Brown Clouds. Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay. So that's probably. Well, I don't know. There's
90. Hold on, wait. It may have been earlier. This may have been like 91, 92. It's definitely early 90s ish. It may have been even released earlier than that. It was just happened to be one of these albums that was like passed along amongst friends. And I remember the first time that I heard it because we were actually coming back from Orlando, going back to Fort Lauderdale. We were in the car and we had just been like at Wet n Wild water park all day long, and I was kind of like drifting off to sleep in the back seat, and the songs Frank Zappa came on, and it was just like, what the hell is going on here? And that's kind of like what was started to get me into it. So, but from what I recall, it did have something to do with to do with clowns. But once again, I'd have to look at the discography because it is vast. But but I enjoyed it. It was a good pick right there. I honestly, I don't think that a lot of people will get it. It's definitely like one of those songs that would need to build up like kind of like a cult following to it. Kind of like let's say if you're watching the Rocky Horror Picture Show, the film, right? That's definitely something that you have to be into to enjoy it. So I think that the song works in that kind of sense. If you're going to talk about a film, right, where you definitely need the following that will be there for this song is going to be very strong because it will last throughout decades, I think.
I think so, yeah, and I'm sure they'll probably build up a fair live following as well, because they're probably fun to see. I get the impression they're probably fun to see. They're not taking themselves too seriously, and that's part of the fun of music that was in there in the 70s and certainly in the 80s. Yeah, with bands like Madness, just absolute fun to see. Seen them a couple of times live, 2 or 3 times, and just. They don't take themselves too seriously, and the music is fun because of that. And I think I get the sense of that with them, as well as the irreverence. Again, that's the spirit of Zappa, the spirit of Ian Dury in there, and others. Might be a bit of Nick Cave in there as well. I noticed somebody put in their comments, Iggy Pop meets Nick Cave, and that's all in there as well, because it's that sort of slightly punky sort of feel to it. Just I don't care what you think about it. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm doing.
Right.
I don't care. You like me or you hate me. Who cares? And that's the attitude, which is great.
I'm with you 100%. Where as far as going to see them live, because here's the thing, you can go to a concert where people are just going to be playing music, and I mean, you may not think too much of it. When there's a show behind the music, it's going to be just that much more fun. And I do think that they're going to be putting on a hell of a show. Did they have a YouTube by any chance?
Oh, very likely. Let's have a quick look and see. Oopsie daisy. Let's look up the YouTube. Right, I've got to be careful with what I'm typing here. But I did Sex Puppets. Oh dear. YouTube and not Google. Right, okay. Yes, they do have a channel, Dead Sex Puppets. And they have 11 songs on there, or 11 videos at least. So, I'd encourage people to check them out. They've probably possibly got some videos and things on there as well. I might be just the normal standard topic YouTube videos, I think. But there is also a Christmas song, I should hasten to add, which may be from last year. I'll have to check this out. But it's called Santa's Buried in My Backyard. It's not the real Santa, kids, so don't worry. It's just a pretend Santa. There's lots of pretend Santas because Santa can't be everywhere. We must add that in there.
It's a friend called Santa.
A friend called, it might be a person called Santa, not the real Santa. Yeah. But yeah,
definitely not the real Santa.
Another track called 20,000 Morons, and so they look like they're good fun. I mean, I definitely. Oh, and one called Spit or Swallow. So that's the kind of.
No, I saw the one that was called Buck Fuddy. Definitely check out the video description below. Find the links to Dead Sex Puppets. It'll go check out their YouTube. I'm curious to see if they have like a music video or if it's just album artwork along with the song. But thoroughly enjoyed it. I think that there's a future there for Dead Sex Puppets. Nicely done. I'm going to listen to more later on. That kind of music is like right up my alley when it comes to like the eclectic and kind of like out there genre. So nice. Loved it. Good beans. So we have Enrico Suave. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, because Suave I thought was with a U. And we have an O here.
Yeah, I've assumed it's Soave. It's Italian, from Ovada in Italy. Right, so it says, grown up with the best music in the world, best rock music in the world, the rock and roll. I sing in Italian, and I try also to sing in English. Now, I did communicate with him on Slaps on one thing, and when I commented on the track, and he said, "Oh, well, how's my English?" So I think he's conscious that he wants to make sure his pronunciation is as best as it can be. But I thought it was okay. It was fine, and I don't mind hearing people singing in an accent. It's not a big issue for me. You know, they're singing English lyrics. That's good enough for me. It says I'm a songwriter and performer too. Please check out my songs on Spotify. But he's on all the different channels here, and this one is called Miles to Live.
Yeah, I don't mind having people, singing in the accent. Also, Leon did that with the song "Ghost," which was featured on our Halloween episode, Special Spectacular, and Leon did very well, even though he's a French singer. So Enrico here, Italian. Song is called, once again, "Miles to Live." It is available on Amazon Music, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, and I think that's Deezer. Let me make sure. That's Deezer.
I think so. Is that?
Oh, it's actually Tidal. It's actually
Tidal. The T, yeah. And this is actually a really good, bit of a rocker to end the show on a bit of a bang.
That's right. The show closer. So here we go. Once again, Miles to Live. Let's check it out. Miles to Live, Carlos Fandango.
Yeah, I really like the intro and outro because it creates a soundscape. So you've got the I guess it's eagles rather than vultures you can hear, and the wind swishing and the motorbike starting up. So it's a proper Hells Angels biker rocker of a track, drawing heavily on, and I see his influences of Queen, Zeppelin, Motorhead, Ian Gillan, Deep Purple. I'm hearing Deep Purple a lot there, and Ian Gillan vocally and with the guitars. That solo when it comes in, that was awesome. And it's a bit Richie Blackmore, it's a bit Brian May. He's got layered vocals, guitars right near the end and further into the start of the song. Yeah, and that chorus actually is a really good sing-along chorus as well. It stays in your head, the Miles to Live thing. You could imagine playing it on the jukebox in a rough and ready spit and sawdust bar or something. It would go down really well, and it just feel really right for that kind of place.
I like that terminology, the spit and sawdust.
Yeah.
No, first thing that I thought about was, this is definitely so I like the wind howling, and I definitely like in the beginning with the flipping through the radio station channels. Kind of like it's subtle, but it's there, you know what I mean? So we hear, but the first band that I thought about, which obviously is a heavy influence on Metallica, was Motorhead, right? Because Motorhead definitely has that kind of like hard rocking kind of like power chord, kind of like so we were going in that direction. So I think it was nicely produced with the instrumentals, but obviously you're going to understand my beef here is that again the vocals I think are overlaid, and I would love to see them mixed into the song, or I would love to hear them, I should say, mixed into the song, because I think that this song could be a powerhouse of a hit because it's high energy. It's like super high, it's like super high energy, and it like draws you in, but with the vocals kind of like being outsourced somewhere else, it doesn't really feel like a complete song just yet. So I'd love to see that. But I mean, going on that whole Motorhead, Metallica, Megadeth kind of like journey right there, 100% high energy. Like the song by Metallica, for example, was Fuel. Right, give me fuel, give me fire. So that this song would kind of like complement that one nicely on a rock radio station, and so it definitely has a lot of commercial viability to it as far as listening to this on the radio. So when you mentioned kind of like the Hells Angels, so there was a show that was called The Sons of Anarchy, which was about a motorcycle gang out there. And this song would have definitely fit into there, and it would have been absolutely brilliant as far as the production quality for the TV show would go. So I love the sound effects. I love the wind howling, the flipping through the radio stations, the motorbike, kind of like starting the song off and just kind of like, tapering it off. And great job, Enrico. Nicely
I think
done.
so, and that mixing I did mean to mention the vocals. I think, yeah, just a little bit more reverb in there, just settle them into the, as you say, mix them in a bit more. But that's all that I'll do. And again, because he did ask me about the how's the English on there. Well, yeah, it's got an accent, but I always think that's got its own kind of charm. If somebody's singing in their accent but in English, it's always a bit distinctive. It's different, and I would encourage him just to do what he's doing, carry on. Of course, you just got to pronounce words so people can understand them, but I think he's doing a great job, and as you say, just mix in the vocals a bit more. So do you think there were two, I know when you say laid over the top, but there are ways of mixing them in, so do you think more reverb on that vocal?
No, the vocals were way ahead of any instruments in the song there.
So just bring them down in the mix.
Yeah, you really have to bring them down in the mix. So like the Miles to Live part, and once again, I'm not making fun of any accent or anything like that. Don't get me wrong. The Miles to Live sounded like it was saying like gasoline, right? It sounded like it was saying gasoline. So there was like there was like the high pitchedness of it. So I think that the other song that we were talking about, I think this was we were about song 7, I think. where
Oh,
you
Marigolds, yes,
where,
quite
where,
local.
where you were talking about, messing with it and kind of like bringing the mids up.
Yes,
This one, let's mess with it and bring the mids and the highs down, and definitely, drop the volume into the mix of the song. And I think that I think it could be. I really do think that it could be a powerhouse of a song. This is like metal that I've not heard in a really long time. This is very classic. Once again, Motorhead, Megadeth, Metallica, very very classic. So I liked it. Because it is a fun song. It could be a fun song because it is pumping all that energy out there. I just think like some of those post-production things that need to be done, just get them done. And I think that it'll work out fine because, the accent has absolutely no bearing in this
no,
song.
not at all, not at all.
Not at all.
And I think, as you say, if it's remixed, I'm sure Enrico will take that on board. He comes across as a really nice, genuine guy on the messages that he sent. I mean, we had limited contact, but I think he'll take it on board. And yeah, you could always, Enrico, do a do a remixed version, so call it the biker mix or whatever, Hell's mix or Hell's Angels mix or something, just so that you distinguish it from the other one, and you're mixing those vocals. Take on board Tom's comments, and I think he's right. Just slightly tweak the mix and maybe pass it to somebody who can mix and master a little bit as well. See what their take is on it, and definitely got a very strong song there that would go down well on Rock FM in this country, and certainly there's heavy metal and rock channels on the radio in USA, aren't there?
Oh, there would be the local one here in Tampa Bay is 97.9 The Rock. So they do have like a mandatory Metallica segment and everything like that. And listen, Enrico, yeah, just I mean, think about it because I really do like. I'm very enthusiastic about the song because it's been a long time since I've heard like heavy metal put together in this sense. You know what I mean? Where it does, once again, just going on the classics, Metallica and Motorhead right there. The only two that you really need to think about, because it's got those power chords. It's very energetic. It's a great song. Just think about it. Think about it is all I'm saying. It's nice the way that it is. Your accent is absolutely non-viable. It shouldn't even be a discussion because the song works. The song works. Your vocals work. You can make out the lyrics. Maybe we should forward this over to Rookie. Maybe Rookie would take a stab at mastering something kind of like heavy metal-ish. He's definitely got the talent to do the hip hop stuff, and he's mastered stuff for you before.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I go to him all the time now to master stuff, excepting for things where I'm collaborating with someone like Russ, who's already sort of producing the song itself to a degree. But Rookie, I go to all the time for mastering now, and he's great because he'll do it in slightly different ways. And I'll just sort of give him some general guidance and say, I want it to be in the vein of that kind of song. And he'll, just put it together. It sounds great. Always gives it so. I think the thing is with the mastering, as he explained to me, I would like to start mastering my own stuff at some point, but it's the time to learn is that I haven't got at the moment. But he was explaining it that, you've got your mix. It's all there fundamentally, but the mastering adds the gloss and the shine to the song. So
Right.
just gives it that professional touch and feel.
Yeah. So Enrico, once again, I'm very much looking forward to, things that you're going to be putting out in the future here. I'm going to keep an eye on you. As a matter of fact, let me click that follow button right there. Yeah, because I think that Enrico's got good stuff coming up for him here. Excellent show closer. So talk to Carl, and Carl can maybe forward this to Rookie. Rookie's got the stuff going on there. So again, just tweak those lyrics a little bit. Not the lyrics, I'm sorry. Just tweak the volumes a little bit on the singing portion of the song. Drop them into the mix, and I think that it'll be absolutely fantastic. Good stuff. Good stuff. an excellent episode 18 that we have had. This is episode 18, right? Yes.
Yeah, not even counting the extras that we've had, the Black Friday and the
Yes.
Halloween.
Yes. And we will have the Christmas special and we will have the New Year's special. So as far as today is concerned, it should be, I believe, December 2nd. But let me check on my calendar just to make sure.
No, you're right.
It will be December 2nd by the time you are seeing this episode here. Great show. And so once again, to find any of these artists, you can do one of two things. You can head down in the video description below, find the links to each individual artist here, go and check them out. First, show them some love, save them onto your personal playlist. If you want more information, head on to usundergroundsound.com, find our Spotify playlist, the songs that we've playlisted there, maybe to your liking. And also go onto our YouTube channel and poke around a little bit and look at those best of the 22s nominations and vote for whichever ones you like: the EDM, the rock, the metal, the hip hop. We're gonna have a few things going on there: originals and the singer-songwriters, instrumentals. Please take a look at those. Help us choose the best of the 22s. And we will have that for our New Year's Eve spectacular ball here. We will be dressed up suit and tie, champagne flutes and everything. And let's bring 2023 in with a bang. For today, I am DJ X Tech. With me, as always, is Carlos Fandango. We are the Underground Sound, putting the us back into music.
So please do use that mouse, like, subscribe, and share, and let's get your music out there.
Cheers to you. Thank you for joining us today, and we shall see you next week. Thank you very much.
Cheerio.